Bento Nati, welcome back to our program. Well, I'm pleased to be a part of this next segment because last weekend was a big weekend for Chin for a number of reasons. Number one, one of the reasons was, of course, we had an incredible concert at Christina Rama with Fausto Leali and Marcella Bella. We'll get to that, but what was even more important and special was our very own Lenny Lombardi, president of Chin Radio and TV International, was honored with the President's Award at the CIBPA President's Ball. It was a wonderful event with more than 600 people in attendance, and it was truly a beautiful night and a special night for all of us. And I'm very pleased to have with me to talk about this event and show you some wonderful highlights of that is Mr. Eddie Borrello, who is the CIBPA President, as well as Mr. Lenny Lombardi. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was a spectacular night last weekend, yes, right. On Saturday.
That's right.
Was it everything you thought it would be that night? It was great.
You know what? It was magic. Yes. I must admit that it was better than anybody could have ever predicted. And it's funny because we spend so much time scripting it and preparing, and we have every minute outlined. And it was just magic. It was way better than anybody could imagine. We've had positive feedback from the whole community, and I think they all got up and danced right away, right? So the band, yeah. So Saturday Night Jive was just fantastic, and it got everybody in the mood. So I think everybody was there to celebrate, and we were so pleased. It was unbelievable.
Well, speaking of magic and a special night, I know Lenny, for you it was definitely a special moment, and I'm going to bring it up for two reasons. One, of course, receiving the award, but secondly, because it's an award you share with your father.
Yeah, Andrea, that's right. My dad was a recipient, I believe, in the late '90s, '98, and here I was on 2014, being recognized by an organization that my father helped establish in the city of Toronto back in the early days, 1952.
That's right.
So I made the point that I was just born in 1952, so we were sharing a birthday together.
That's right.
And it's no small accomplishment for an organization to live that long and remain relevant in the community. And by the turnout that we had that evening and all the great families that were recognized, Eddie, it just goes to show how vibrant and supportive and dynamic the Italian community is, not only here in Toronto, but right across the board, right across Canada.
That's right. That's right.
And Lenny, I was going to say for you too, and, you know, we're looking at some of the video from that night, that special night. But I see a lot of familiar faces who are good friends of yours and supporters of what you do and continue to do with Chin Radio. It must have been special for you to see all of these great friends come out and support.
It was very humbling, you know, and I was very pleased and honored, of course, to be recognized by the CIBPA and all of my friends who came out in support of me, and not only myself, but of course Diane Dupuis, Greg Sabar, and the Cortolucci family, all very worthy recipients, and of course Ralph and Rose Kyoto, the honorary chairs. It was just a great night. We just had a wonderful night. Liberty Grand.
They did a fantastic job. I think Nick did a fantastic job. His whole crew, they really went to the extreme of making sure everything was perfect. It was just excellent all the way around. And I got a really special thanks to Diana Panacci. Diana does a ton of work in the background that people don't recognize. And so she is the executive director, and she's the driving force of the organization without a doubt. And the chairs, by all means, Frank Stripoli and Lou Panacci, they did a fantastic job of getting us through the evening. And also, you know, it's been a year endeavor, right? So tomorrow we start already the next year. You know, it's funny, we talked about the President's Ball last week, and we're already talking about next year's President's Ball.
Really? That's old news already.
No.
Well, you know how it is, Lenny, right?
8 days later, right?
As we're finishing up our Chin Picnic, we're already talking about the next one, right?
That's right. But I think the individual presentations, Diane Dupuis and Greg Sabara's words about actually his father and how his father and Sulio had started the organization 62 years ago. And so I think the evening definitely, you know, was very memorable because it was emotional for a lot of people. And I found that a lot of people really had a genuine, there was a certain genuineness without a doubt in all the speeches that were put up there that night.
Because you're talking about 62 years, so we're all linked to it somehow in some way or another, and I think that's why it becomes that much more special or emotional for people when they're up there receiving an award, because they can link their father or their grandfather, whoever it is, to the organization, and that's quite special.
That's right. And I think
Jackie Rosati.
Yeah. And I think everybody had a piece of it, you know, and so everybody celebrated that night, not only the, you know, the celebration of obviously the people that we were recognizing, you know, Lenny and Diane Dupuis and the Cortellucci family, Greg Sabara, but they all expressed something about the CIBPA that we're all, like you say, we're all a part of it in some fashion, and we hope to have another 62 years. I mean, that's what we're here to do.
Yep, you know, and I think the Italian community is going to be, you know, right behind you in that endeavor, and I think. You know, you're the CIBPA is the granddaddy of them all, right?
That's right.
You know, it really led the charge, and if you look at our history of all the great associations that have come along and are still contributing to the growth of this great community and their contribution to the city and Canada in general, is really remarkable. And I think the CIBPA can take a bow and be very proud of their accomplishments, and you for
thank you very much. Well, thank you very much,
and the entire board of the CIBPA.
Our board is fantastic, like I said that night, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that the sponsors that come out that night, you know, Scotiabank and TD Bank and RBC, and also KPMG came out as presenting sponsors that night, and without them, you know, we're only as good as the support behind us, and I'd be remiss not to acknowledge them as well, and Nick DiDonato and the Liberty Group, they did a fantastic job in supporting us as well. So it is a community. And I think, you know, that community comes together once a year at the President's Ball to celebrate the achievements of those, you know, members that have done fantastic in the community, but also celebrating ourselves, celebrating our contribution overall.
Now, I know that you have some wonderful events you're working on. Let's quickly talk about, mention that, what's happening.
Christmas is around the corner, so December 4th, we have our traditional Christmas dinner. We're up at the Villa Colombo, and we're looking again to have a great celebration on December 4th with some of the, some of the seniors in the Villa Colombo area, and I'm hoping that a lot of people, a lot of members will come out to that as well. January 25th is a very important date for us. We're having a special event called Empowering Young Women, and it's going to be down at the Ryerson Theatre, and that's a unique event for the CIBPA, is because we're actually reaching into our youth, and we talk about 62 years about how our founders have really established the CIBPA. We are now hoping to have the foundation for our youth, and so we have a very unique event called Empowering Young Women, January 25th at Ryerson Theatre, and then on February 24th we have something called Predictions. Predictions is a little series that we've been running over the last little bit, talking about business and social and culture, and we're predicting a little bit what the year ahead will look like, both from a technology perspective, what is changing overall, as well as what does it mean to us and our businesses overall. So we have a number of events coming up that we're looking forward to. I think we're looking forward to, again, another strong year, and I'm sure we'll have more events coming up, like the Christmas dinner and on January 25th, the Empowering Young Women.
Well, thank you for coming on today.
My pleasure.
To share all that. Lenny, once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
By the way, very nice words, very nice speech that evening. It was a moving speech. But any last words for you on?
Well, you know, with respect to the award, you know, I certainly accept that on behalf of my family, but in particular, I share that with my sister, Teresa, and of course my mother, who's really the matriarch of the family that helped build the station and starting off in the supermarket, and of course my lovely wife Grace, who's always there watching my back.
That's right. Like we all say, right? Behind every successful man is a strong woman, right? And so therefore, our mothers.
I have three.
You're ultimately successful for sure.
I gotta include my daughter Alessandra.
There you go. There you go.
Well, very nice. Thank you again for joining us today. Congratulations once again, Lenny.
Thanks, Lenny.
And we are now going to Massimo Nicoletti with your artist profile. Ciao, Mass.